You're listening to the Beans and Dice podcast, a podcast about how we game.
Hey folks, welcome to the Beans and Dice Thursday Night Live call-in show. I'm Carlos.
Woo woo woo. I'm Rob.
And I'm Wayne.
And we are a podcast about how we game. Thursday nights is all about how you game because Thursday nights is live call-in show night when we take your calls. We sit back, we bring no content whatsoever, and we allow you to run the show for us to talk about what you got going on gaming-wise.
Lazy.
We do that via phone calls. So we are one of the few shows where we actually take your phone calls and talk to you about what you've got going on gaming-wise. This week, we're going to get into the Twig, This Week in Gaming, games that we played this week. We'll update you on the news, articles that of interest to us, and we'll get into some OGG, some other geeky goodness. Hopefully get interrupted by phone calls the entire time.
Woo.
So we actually have no topic this week, no direct topic this week. We will go right into the phone lines, folks. Let's get them open. 813-618-7099 is the phone number. Phone lines are actively open. Phone line.
That. Yeah, there we go. So disregard that scroll, but it just changed. Wayne,
see, Mike, it's totally AI, the hands. AI can't do hands, so.
Oh, yeah. He's got 6 fingers.
99% guaranteed all human.
Yeah, that other percent's questionable, but.
Yes. Guys, how y'all been?
Not bad. I had a pretty good week. Yeah.
Not bad.
How about
A
you?
little crazy for me. A little crazy.
So you haven't had a good week. Yeah.
No, we'll just get right into the Twig. I started on Monday. Monday, I got to play some Comic Hunters with Christian. So my son Christian is my 22-year-old, my oldest boy.
Think about it.
And he is the Marvel fanatic of the family. He's into the MCU. I remember when he was little, I painted his room to be all Spider-Man. Got him a bunch of comic books from Spider-Man. I got all these first number one issues of Spider-Man that I could find and put them in his room as decoration. So recently I got him a copy. I got me a copy, but for him of Comic Hunters because it was on sale on Amazon and he was excited to get it played. He brought it to me on Monday because he had just finished school. So I guess school's out now. He was done with all his school stuff. So he can actually, with the university he's done for this semester, I think until next school year, right?
Yep.
Unless he takes summer classes.
He might do that. But he's happy because he has some time backs, and he's like, "Poppy, I want to play. Let's play." So all right, so we get Marvel Comic Hunters to the table. Marvel Comic Hunters is a drafting game. In this drafting game, you're going to be collecting issues of different comics from Marvel of I think 6 different. Might be 5 different heroes that you're attempting to collect from. Depending on how many players are in the game, the number of heroes will fluctuate. Actually, no, it's 8. 8 in the box. There will be 1 at the top, which will be the most rare. It'll change every game. There'll be 2 at the second level, which are second rare, and then 3 at the bottom level. This isn't a 2-player game. 3 at the bottom level that have the least rarity, so more common, meaning less value at endgame scoring. You're going to try to find those comic heroes to collect those sets of those heroes and gain points. You're also going to be looking for what they call highlights. Highlights are these tags for different things that this comic has. These are actual cards. Each card has an individual comic book on it. Some of the comics might be a number 1 issue. So the first time that comic was ever in that series, that was number 1. It could be a first appearance. So the first time that this superhero appeared in a comic was in this issue. It could be a new look. So maybe a change in the style of the character or an epic battle. Either way, there's a few of these highlights that are going to be important in each game. You'll draw randomly to select them. So every game will be different on who the heroes you're looking for and what highlights you're looking for. And you're going to draft them through 3 different ways. They call 4 different ways. They call it the store, which is going to be your modern day comics. That's the era that you're looking for there. You're also going to be collecting through a flea market, which is kind of older comics, but not the oldest. And then you get into the convention, and the conventions is where you're buying like the rarest of rares, like the real, agglomeration of everything. Online. That's where your real old ones are on the online auction. That's the 4 different ways you're going to do it. And you'll do that 3 different types of drafting over 3 different rounds. So you're going to draft 9 times in this game to get your sets collected. At the end of the game, the player is going to win points for having collected sets of comics for that hero based on the hierarchy that was established at the beginning of the game. You're going to get points for your variety of heroes that you've collected. So more heroes that you collect, the more points you get. The depth of your sets will matter, so the more points you get. And then finally, those highlight tags that you have, those 3 different types of highlights you're looking for will each score based on where you are in the most of that set. So that's more like a race, a control for a track to have the most in each of those types of highlights to score points. And any leftover money you had from the auctions that you didn't burn will all equal points and go to the winner, who will be the best comic book hunter at the end of the game. Hopefully I explained that well, because I don't think I did. I just want to say it's a really good game. This is a really
it's
good
fun.
game. I walked away asking myself, man, why didn't I play this more when I had the chance, when Wayne had it over here? I'm so glad to have a copy now. No, but my copy is not as cool as Wayne's copy.
Right.
Because Wayne's copy was the original Brazilian edition or version of it. This is the version that came through Spin Master and Spin Caca when I say when it comes to production. Like
the production value is only slightly better on the Brazilian version. Like, I mean,
it's not a big difference.
Not a huge
tokens
difference,
are flimsy. The cards, some of them aren't cut exactly right, so
I think
sleeving them is important.
You got one of the ones that was like really foobar.
Yeah, so it's not terribly foobarred, but you can see some of the cards it already came with like some of the edges torn, I guess, with the die cutting, because the cards are very thin. They're stiff, but they're not strong, right? Like the paper, the laminated paper
like the white
off.
Core instead of black core cards.
Yes, that's the way to say it. It is a white core card. So I have sleeved them for their protection.
Sleeved. Yep.
Yep. What's cool though is the box does come with trays for the cards, so it's kind of like this cardboard insert. And what I noticed, it's kind of hard to get these cards out here. I'll just tell you about it. What I noticed in the insert is the inserts are of different heights, different levels of height in the inserts. So I thought that was pretty cool that they created this cardboard insert and were able to do it in a way that allowed for varying height. It's a very, very cool insert. Outside of that, tokens are thin.
To accommodate the number of cards that are in each group or whatever? That's interesting.
Yes.
I haven't seen that before. That's
cool.
So
like different sets will have different numbers of cards in them. So it allows it to sit flush in there. It was just nice that they did that. Kind of interesting the way I pulled it out and kind of looked at the way they folded it to create that different depth, and thought, okay, that'd be a cool way for companies to do different size trays in a box. Yeah. That was my play of Comic Hunters. Any thoughts before I put this one up from you guys on Comic Hunters?
Man, I need to get it out again because I love that game.
Great game. Yeah. If you like drafting, I got introduced to it at Dice Tower East, I want to say 3 or 4 years ago. And it was before it was widely available here. Dan had a copy from the Brazilian printing and introduced it to us, and we must have played it 4, 5, 6 times at that Dice Tower, and then I've played it several times since then. But yeah, really, really fun. I really like drafting.
I feel like if the Spin Master, if the U.S. implementation of it was better quality, it would have I feel like because there was such a negative reaction to the lower production value, the game didn't hit and stay like it should have.
Well, especially because that first one, Wayne, you mentioned it was really bad. It had like cards cut in half.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That sucks because it's a great game. And it seems like there was this huge hype train when you can only really get it in Brazil. And then everyone was looking forward to it. And then Spin Master came out with his like dirt cheap copy and it died for some reason.
I guess, if I remember, did it have something to do with it because they had to acquire some of the rights and stuff and it was super expensive? So
it was like Arcane Wonders, right? Had the rights to the game. And that like Tom Vassell and the whole Dice Tower Essential line, but then they had to go to Spin Master because Spin Master had the rights to the Marvel
board
comics,
games with Marvel, right?
to the comics.
Yeah.
Well, to the comics, specifically the comics. Like a bunch of people have rights to our Marvel IPs, but the comic book covers, Spin Master had the rights to those. And I think that they wanted to mass market it. They wanted it in the Barnes and Nobles and the Targets, and they wanted it cheap.
That's a good call out, Wayne, because I don't think I described it well enough. Each card is the cover of a comic book.
Right.
And what I really enjoyed with my son is he was like, oh, I remember this comic book. You had that one hanging on my wall that we bought at that convention when we went with Edward. You know, like he remembered these comics that he had collected as a kid that he can see in there. So if you are a comic, I'm not a comic book person, but if you are, you're going to see some history in there, some memories. So now he's asking me, do you think they're going to come out with a DC version? I'm like, Bobby, I don't know.
Probably not. Probably not.
Looks like Edmund is at Lincon.
Lincoln.
Lincoln
Lincoln.
playtesting his Loaded Ships game. Cool.
Whoop,
Hope
whoop.
it's going well. This is, I guess, second year in a row you're there playtesting. So hopefully you get some.
Let us know how the feedback's going.
Yeah, hopefully some of the same people who played it last year are there again, and they can see the iteration and the improvement. So I'm looking forward to hearing about that. Yeah.
So we ended our game of Comic Hunters. The kid was had a little fever that day, so we sat and watched some Disney movies, and it was kind of getting past her bedtime. But I figured, you know what, we're hanging out. He's tired. Mom's cleaning the kitchen. I'll give her a break. Let her, not have to help me put this kid down. We'll hang out here. And dude, the kid had a seizure on my lap while I was sitting there watching a movie. I have to say, I have never been so like I feel like out of control in my life. Like this is the same kid that was a preemie, like a 9-month preemie. This is or a 9 days in a NICU because he was like, I can't remember how many weeks early preemie. This is the same kid that was it March, put a hanger in his eye and I had to go take it out and take him to the emergency room. So like I thought I was a pretty tough dad. Like I've been through a lot, but bro, that took it out of me. That seizure thing, like it freaked me out. We took him to the emergency room by ambulance. We stayed there. They couldn't figure out really what it was. At this point, they're only guessing that he had an ear infection, which caused the fever. The fever caused the seizure. But we've been monitoring him. Finally today, the fever is not an issue. Last night he went to bed late with a fever, but today he's been good. So God willing, we've been receiving a lot of prayers from family and friends. I'll take any more if you got them. And he's getting better. But I tell you what, man, I've never felt so lack of control, lack of I thought I was cool under pressure. Man, when I went to go hand him to the paramedics, I was sobbing like a baby, and I could not explain what was going on. Like it took me 30 seconds to kind of collect myself and explain the situation. So that was my Monday night and this week.
Crazy Monday night.
Yeah. So
This
not
kid's,
much gaming
like,
since then.
You'd think like after 17 other children that like this
You've seen it all.
This one is giving me all kinds of new stuff.
He's like, hold my sippy cup. Watch this.
Yeah. Do another thing. Sorry to hear all that.
Glad that everything turned out okay, though.
So far, everything's good. I'm hearing from a lot of folks that this is not as uncommon as I thought it was, that a lot of young kids deal with seizures with fevers. He was only 100.2. 100.2. Like with all my other kids, I let them get to 104 before I give them any Tylenol. Like, bro, you got to show me like sick, okay? I don't believe you. This one, I guess, he's weak, bro. He's weak. He's like 102. Good night. Reset computer. So now he's hitting 99 and we're like pumping him with Tylenol.
Oh yeah, 100.2. Yeah, not 102, but yeah, 100.2.
Yeah, he was 100.2.
So 102 was usually my cutoff. If it got over 102,
102, you start
it was
bringing
time
it down.
to start to get a little crazy. Anyway,
now I'm pumping him with the Tylenol, and I'm getting the good one, the one with the red 40 in it. Like I'm getting the real good children's Tylenol.
Stuff that they haven't taken off the market quite yet.
What do you guys? Oh, thank you, Edmund. I appreciate it, brother.
I was going to just hit a couple real quick. I played several games this last week, but they were just all shorter games, smaller games, other than all my BGA gaming. But I borrowed Rumble Nation from Carlos.
Nice.
Wanted to teach that to my kids because it's a BGA game and we're playing more and more stuff on BGA. I've got both of my older 2 kids on there with accounts. And so we're doing lots of 3-player gaming. We've got probably 10, 15 going at a time. But anyway, Rumble Nation, they both liked it. RB is definitely against randomness, but he didn't hate it. So I was thinking he
kind of mitigated it a little bit.
Yeah, you can re-roll and some things, and then you can choose how.
But
you
it's
split
also
the
3
dice.
dice, so it's like it's not like this 1 die luck fest. It's like 3 dice, and then you decide how to connect.
How to break it out?
Yeah. So he didn't hate it. So yeah, we played it a couple times. We played it twice when we broke.
How many players?
3 of us both times. So we played.
So 30 minutes.
Yeah, at most.
That really helps with the luck mitigation too, like with dice.
You can reset it and just do it again. And then we played my favorite game, Trio.
Before we go off on Rumble, Rumble Nation actually came up in today's episode or this week's episode of Board Game Insider.
Oh, really?
Which is Stephen Bonacore and Corey Feldman. Not really.
Corey Feldman.
They were talking about games that are underrated. And I had to comment on it on their YouTube video because he's not wrong. When Corey brought up the game of Rumble Nation and talked so highly of it, I'm like, this game is underserved. It is such a good game. I'm glad you got it to the table.
Yeah, it was fun, and my son pointed out how pretty the box and everything is. It's really well
he is
done.
an Asiaphile.
Yep, he loves all that stuff. So, but it's really.
Did you guys
pretty.
play with the expansion pieces, the
We did not.
dominoes?
We didn't, since I was just.
Did you play with the Grande Meeple though?
We did not. No, we just played the
because that's
base
like a
game,
level
so.
up. Like you can do without the Daimyo cards and just bring in the Grande Meeple, and he counts as 2.
Yeah. So I explained that to him. I told him this one counts as 2, and then you get these asymmetric powers, abilities. So if we play again, we'll definitely do that. Although my daughter left for Greece this afternoon, so we won't get a chance for a little while. But I'll see how long I can hold on.
Well, if he
to
makes it over here on a Thursday night, then make sure we bring it and play it because I do love Rumble Nation.
Yeah, good one. I was gonna say, and then that same night we played. We were at my mom's house for I guess it was Mother's Day. This was this last Sunday, so happy belated Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. We played 5 games of Trio. My mom's husband, we taught it to him, and he instantly got hooked. So everybody who's watched the show knows I do not like memory games, and I do not like Trio. And for that reason, Carlos gave me an extra copy of Trio that he had. So now it's in my collection, and it's just so easy to grab. And when I'm going somewhere, it's a deck of cards, and so I just grabbed it on the way out the door. We took it over to my mom's place, and my mom's husband Wade wanted to just play it over and over and over again. So RB won the first 3 in a row, and so there was a whole thing about, all right, now we just all got to work together to bring down RB. So it was kind of a dog pile. So
your favorite Trio memory games?
Yeah, no, definitely not. So.
But it's so like the deck isn't even that big. I think maybe it's 25 cards or something.
Yeah,
because it's not even like a full deck of cards. The thing is thin as all get out if you take it out of the box.
Yep. I
and
took
Rob,
it in the box.
There is a 2-player rule set because it was originally published as a different game. I'm trying to remember the name of it. I think it was like Christmas or something. It was something weird. But that game had the 2-player rule set in it. This Trio version doesn't. I wrote it down on pen on my rule book.
Okay.
So that I can actually you just pull out some extra cards and now you play it 2-player. So you can play it all the way up from 2 to 5, I think it is.
5, I think it is, yeah. All right, cool. I'll maybe have to run through that sometime with you just to learn it. I'm sure it's simple once you do it, but yeah, especially if you're just pulling out some cards.
Got a question here in the chat. Yeah. What's up, Sherlock? Says one mic, one game. One mic, one game was giving a shout out to Sherlock. Sherlock had a question in the chat. What is your best, worst board game you rank in your personal top 50, but the BGG overall ranking is in the lowly thousands? Mine is Way Out West by Martin Wallace, a top 50 for me, but BGG 7,450.
Wow. I'd have to go look on BGG.
Okay. I'm looking at it right now. I'm thinking I was going in the 2000s. You want to go way down there.
But I don't know. Because I can look at my collection, right?
Yeah. The Great Split, Chocolate Factory come to mind.
Yes.
I don't know if either of them would be in my top 50, but they'd be up there.
Yeah.
And they're like in the 2000s.
I'm trying to see how I can see my games because it's a great question.
Well, if you updated your collection, you could just go to your collection.
Well, my app is connected. My BG Stats is connected to Board Game Geek. So every time I buy a game, it does get added to there. So I should be able to see my library, right? So let me share my screen, and then y'all can help an old man walk through this.
Library.
Okay. Yeah.
My library.
If your collection is accurate. Yeah, I could talk.
All right. So this is me.
Click on your upper thing.
Are these games? Games. Okay,
No,
games I owned.
You have way more than 423 games. Go scroll up to the top. Scroll up to the top, upper right hand corner, the little Beans and Dice logo.
Yep.
Click on collection.
Collection. Okay.
Okay. Then go to filters.
I can rate by my rating.
Yeah.
Oh, and I can filter too.
Go to filters.
That would be
upper right, upper left. Sorry, upper left.
Okay.
And then, columns. Click on columns, and we're going to add in a column for BGG ranking. Scroll down, see that rank. Click that rank. And then scroll down, hit done.
Look at this, folks. We're learning how to run BGG right here, right now.
Live. Now you've got the BGG rankings on there, so you can sort.
Okay, let's see here.
Or game rank on the
DBA right off the bat. That's a miniatures game. We won't call that Blitz Bowl. It's one of my top games. I do love Blitz Bowl. It's 2900.
Scroll up to the top again. Then click on board game rank. And then click it again.
Let's sort. Okay, how bad is this?
There you go.
Baseball card GM. That's a new game. That's a new game, so that one doesn't count. Tanks. Oh, I love playing tanks, but that's really a miniatures game, not a board game. That's rated 15,460. Western Legends Showdown. Okay, that's a 6. Let me get into the 8s and 9s. Let's see if I have a 9 in here. Here's a 10. Samurai Battles. There it is. There's your answer. 7,037 Samurai Battles.
That's a top 50 for you all time?
Oh, it's Memoir 44 with Samurai. Like it would go Hall of Fame, like Insta. Really? And this one has extra decks, kind of like the Star Wars version. But there's also dishonor, Robert. When you retreat, every tile that your people retreat, you take a dishonor point. It's bad. And then at a certain point, your leader has to commit seppuku and take himself out because, he's like dishonored.
Ooh, that's a good one. He has a good one. That's up there, Sherlock. Sorry, I'm going to share that. New Bedford. I love that game. That's a top 50 game for me.
Oh, nice.
And that's one of my old school ones. The other one I would say that's ranked. It's ranked 3,842nd. Axis and Allies D-Day is probably it might be a top 100. I don't know top 50, but it's definitely a top 100 for me. I love that game. So,
Robert, any input?
I was trying to sort my ranking, and I got my list, and I got all lost. So I don't know. I could look up, I guess, individual games, but what is Tyrants of the Underdark ranked? Does anybody know?
Oh, that's probably pretty high.
It's definitely not. It's
thousands.
We call it underrated, but I don't think it really is.
It's 164th overall all time. So top 200.
Okay. No, not in the thousands. No. Oh, gosh, I don't know.
Is your collection up to date on BGG?
Yeah, it's pretty up to date.
Okay.
I think it's completely up to date.
So
I got my collection.
Well, if you hide those other tabs,
you share your screen.
You can share your screen.
Yeah.
Can I share? Where do I go? Present.
Present.
It's making for great radio. And if you don't like any of this radio that you're hearing right now, you can just call in and interrupt it. Period. Like that's the right answer is this is boring. I don't like it. You call in. You make it yours. 10 minutes. You're the host.
Change the thing. Yeah. All right. Let's go there. Let's go there. I need to go there. I believe that's it.
Yep. There we go.
Is that showing? Oh, no.
No.
Oh, here. All right. Is this where we want to be?
Yep. All right. So is that your collection?
Yep.
All right. Go to columns.
Columns. Yes.
And then click on rank. Right. Next, keep going down a little bit more, right there.
Okay.
And then hit done. Right there in the middle.
Where's done? Right there.
There you go. Okay. And that'll add that column. It'll reload. Take a second to reload.
Oh, okay. It must be. Or do I need to manual? Oh, there it goes.
Now double click on the board game rank and it'll sort them, the one all the way on the left.
Left. Oh, okay.
Yep. Click that and it'll sort it top to bottom, and then you flip it again. There you go. You're good. So
Shoots and ladders. 30,590. No, see, I've got some of the kids' games I own in here.
Yeah, that's right. My lowest ranked game was, I think, Shoots and Ladders as well.
Looking for like a 9 or higher rating.
Yeah, see, I haven't rated everything, but let's go down here. And that's not high enough. That's not good. Let's keep scrolling. There's an 8.
There's a green.
For the King and Me, which is the redo of Biblios. So I don't know what Biblios would be ranked, but for the King and Me was higher. 3,862. So that one probably doesn't really count. Dark Ages. That's a good one. That's what I'm really liking. I gotta get you guys to play. That's an 8. That might even be a 9 for me. That's 3,187. So that's a pretty darn good one.
That's one I'm interested in.
Yeah, I see a 10 down here. Arkham Horror, the card game. No, that can't be right.
Yeah, your ranking's probably in the. What's the rankings at?
What's that? The ranking for that Arkham Horror is 2,751 according to this.
Okay, that's probably your best worst game. I would say that makes sense. That would be your best worst game.
Okay,
that means you're all about the cult of the cool, because you can't get as low as we can. We're in the 7,000s.
Oh, okay. Be a cool kid like you guys. But,
you have to be uncool to be cool.
There's Age of War 2,200. That's a good one.
That's a good one. That is a good one.
But all right, so that's my top ones there, I think.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah, nice little exercise there.
All right, put your comments in the chat. Even better, call it in. That's a great way to do it. 813-618-7099 is the number. We're in our Twig, our This Week in Gaming. What do we got here in the comments? Tyrants of the Underdark is my number 1.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So not as underrated as I thought.
Yeah. Welcome. You're welcome here.
In good company.
You're among friends.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I've been playing Sandcore this week. An excellent game. Interesting. Don't know if I know that. I
remember Musar brought that one up before, because I think he asked us about it. And I think it was like a spin-off of a different world, some like banking or financing game world. I remember him bringing it up. Video Game Champion is my lowest rated game on BGG. That is in my top 50. How bad is Video Game Champion, Wayne?
I don't know.
Where's that rated?
Let me see. Can't be that bad. 3,975. Wow. Okay. So
okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's also newer. It's got some work to do. I
think that's probably where it's going to end up, right around there. That game kind of died.
Yeah.
Didn't have the oomph to keep going.
I saw something on Dice Tower that Tom was talking about that I'd like to do with us whenever there's dead air. Mm-hmm. Take the top 100 ranked games, because he was talking about introducing people to board gaming, and his contention was people like to give folks the top 100 games from BGG.
Look at how many rankings. I sort by number of rankings.
Correct. That's the right way to do it, because that's where you're going to get.
Talked about that a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I remember having that conversation. Yep.
Yeah, not looking at what is their number 1 game, but the number 1 rated games that are rated the most, who had the most ratings.
The top 10 there would be Catan, Carcassonne, Pandemic, Terraforming Mars, Wingspan, Seven Wonders, Azul.
Right, going through those kind of games and talking about how we like
Dominion. Them. Yeah. So.
A lot of classics.
So so my turn. My twig this week was not super big because this was graduation week, so it was actually kind of fun because college I work for graduates.
There's one on there I want to hear about.
Yeah.
I'll let you guess.
Yeah. The college I work for actually graduates. We have our graduation ceremonies at Tropicana Field. So they set up the dais right on the middle of the right by the third baseline. So it's kind of cool. We get to hang out on the pitch. Hang out on the field.
Dude, they just redid the whole stadium.
Oh my god, it's we're in the VIP lounge for where the faculty and deans are all at. And man, you could smell the paint still. The paint smell was strong at Trop Field, so it was kind of interesting. So I think let's see. Carlos wants to hear about Targi, or Vantage, you want to hear about Cozy Stickerville?
Oh yeah,
yeah. So I got my first play of Cozy Stickerville, and I picked it up at Emerald City Games in Clearwater, Largo area. It's right around the block from my office. So when I actually go to the office, I like to go there. They actually changed the layout of the store, which is kind of cool. They have a whole nother, the back area is now the gaming area. They have a huge open gaming table area where you can go and game, and they moved all the board games back there. And I picked up Cozy Stickerville, which is everyone's been talking about it. Corey Kaniska game, which is kind of interesting. His definitely a lighter game compared to some of his other games. And in Cozy Stickerville, you can't lose. So you always kind of move forward with the story, and it's kind of like a choose your own adventure story, which I'm kind of big on right now with my Plays Advantage. But where you can play cooperative, and you basically each game is 12 cards, and each card has actions or things you can do or events that happen or choices to be made. And as you do that, you place stickers on a map, and you're building out your Cozy Stickerville. Some of those stickers may be more plants or more trees or a garden or a house or a, whatever. I don't want to get into any kind of spoilers. Granted, I only played the first game. And the goal is to increase the happiness and develop your village. And eventually it's story driven. So there's a lot of narrative there. The story starts with your dad is tired of your, loafing ways and boots you out and says, the only thing I'm giving you this tract of land and get out of my hair.
I hate you, Dad.
I hate your dad. Yeah. But really fun playing with my wife and kid, which, I go into this and I'm looking at the name of the game is Cozy Stickerville. So like we're getting all these choices and I'm like, okay, well, that's the cozy choice, right? A nice little like garden or whatever. And my wife's like, no, let's let the crazy wizard move his tower into this area. And then like my kid, and then I'm like, oh, we can bring in a cucumber farmer. And my kid's like, no, bring in the industrialists and let them, the greedy land barons. And I'm like, well, come on, really? It's Cozy Stickerville, people. So
you can play it many different ways.
Yes, you can. Exactly. And that's what it is. There's kind of a branching path. And so each of your choices can have further impacts later on in the game. So granted, I've only one game in so far, so I don't know what those impacts will be, but it was interesting is like on your turn, you read your card, you do the action, and then oftentimes it gives you a choice of like A or B. And when you play cooperative, you discuss it, but ultimately whoever's turn it is gets the ultimate decision. So there were several times where I'm like, just under my breath, just like
doing stuff you don't want to do.
Screw this! I'm playing the second game solo.
Yeah,
but no, it was fun.
Wayne wakes up early, quietly plays the second game without telling the family.
No, I mean, like what the cool thing about the game is there's 10 plays. Each play is 30 or 40 minutes ish. But then once you go through the 10, so it's 12 cards in each round, and there's 10 rounds in the game.
Is it 10? I thought it was 12. I thought each one represented a month. And you played through the year.
I think there's only 10.
Okay,
yeah.
It's been 3 or 4 weeks since I played.
Yeah,
okay.
I think there's only maybe I could be wrong, but you can flip the board over and play again. And generally, the second time you play through, you'll just mostly choose the other options. Yeah. So you can kind of go through it a second time. And so it is a disposable game. You're only going to play it at most 20 times or 24 times, depending on how many game sessions there are. But it's fun. I mean, there's no way to lose. But you're crafting a story, so it is very much choose your own adventure, and you can see that some of the choices you make will make impacts on the game later. And so it was kind of fun seeing my wife's mentality of little chaos demon that she is, and then my kid and the troll face that he has, and then me. And so the three of us, it was fun. It was like I'm joking, I'm pretending it's more serious than it was, but no, it was a really good time. The rules were very simple, very easy to understand, explains how you play it. And it was good. After we played, I'm like, so what did you guys think? And they were like, oh, that was cool. We'll play it again. So we're probably going to do it again tomorrow night or Saturday night. We'll play the next session. So our goal is to maybe do 1 or 2 a week. So over the next 5 or 6 weeks, we'll play through the campaign, and then maybe we'll flip it over and play the other side of it. So, but yeah, worth it. It was like $35 or something like that. So it's kind of like, $35 for 10 plays minimum, 20 plays if you do it twice. So it's worth it.
Yeah. We played, I think, the first 4, and there's definitely, your decisions definitely do decide. There's things in the future that will be, if you did this, or if you, stickered that, count the number of these that you have, and it gives you different results. And so, and there's a die, if I remember in the game, where there is some things where you do that you can push your luck, and you can,
like we have a fishing hole, and you can go fishing, and if you roll a 1, you get a fish, but if you roll a 2 through 6, you might either you're collecting fish, and then in the little storybook, there's little story chapters you can read. So it was cool. It was fun.
I like it. Yeah,
I'm happy for the designer Corey Konieczka on this one. Corey Konieczka, longtime FFG designer, X-Wing, Twilight Imperium, Arkham Horror stuff. The guy does all kinds of great theme games, and I know his last game he did was kind of a dud because he broke off onto his own. his own like production or publishing company that he was doing. So I'm glad to see that this new recent title is already hitting hard. It's what, like in the top 200 for thematic already. One was 163 for thematic games. It's almost to the top 1,000. So that's
only
a pretty
been out
quick
for
climb.
what, like 6 months maybe or something.
Right.
So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Super happy for Corey on this one.
Very, very light. I mean, a 1.2 rating
Yeah.
almost is too much. But,
Yeah, it's light. You're just making fun choices.
Yeah. So it is, I think, a fun game for a family to go through. Yeah.
Agreed.
So there you go.
Got some comments in the chat. Shallow Sea is also in my top 50, and it's 1,849 on BGG. That's Captain Gamer. It was a question from earlier about what's your best worst game. So worst ranked BGG game that you put in your top 50. Musar is clarifying that the full name of the game is Sankori, the Pride of Mansas Musas, and it's ranked number 70 in strategy. Wow.
Okay.
Video Game Champion is ranked 3,975 on BGG. It should be in the top 2,000. Ooh, I think he's heard on that
hairs
one.
there, 2,000 to 4,000. But yeah, I mean, it's just the number of games that are out there. It's not that big a difference, but yeah.
Cody Nerd in the chat. Hello, Cody. Thanks for joining us again. Beansanddice podcast. State your name. Where are you calling from?
This is Mitchell from Louisiana. What's up?
Mitchell! Son of a Mitch. Welcome back.
Hey, what's up? I'm just jumping into the stream. I hope I didn't miss anything. Is there anything I'm supposed to be talking about with this call?
We already talked about Lord of the Rings, so we're good, Hobbit.
No, you
I got more of it though. I got more of it. The question in the chat was, what is your best worst game? So the game that you love the most that is ranked the worst on BGG.
That's interesting. I'm looking at my collection right now. That's a big question to spring on a guy.
All right, well, you come up with your topic, and if you think about it between now and then, we'd love to hear it.
Yeah, at worst, I'll put it in the chat later on if I can't think of it before the call is over.
Cool. We all have to go online and sort our collections, but yep.
Yeah. I want to call and report in. BJ got a copy of Viticulture Bordeaux, and we got a play in the other day. Have you guys gotten it? Yet?
Pictures of
haven't
play
played it yet. Yeah, I saw them post. BJ posted it on Facebook. I'm jealous because I have had it since it got released, but I haven't had a chance to play it yet.
My wife is holding the Viticulture Cooperative hostage. She's effectively, every time I bring up Viticulture to play, she's like, not until we play the Viticulture Cooperative again. And I'm like, I'm sorry, that game beats me up too much. I don't want to be beat up again.
Yeah, I was a little, I don't know, I kind of felt like the Viticulture expansions had jumped the shark a little bit. You know, there's Tuscany and Viticulture World and Formaggio and Rhine visitors and more visitors and all these different things. And I was like, does it need to be expanded anymore? I mean, we already have 2 separate essential editions, you know? And I love Tuscany so much that I was like, you can't improve on this more, right? So honestly, I didn't even really look into what the expansion was. I played it begrudgingly, but I will say I was pleasantly surprised. I enjoyed it because honestly, in my opinion, it is the best part of Tuscany with some cool new mechanics because you use the same Tuscany board with 4 seasons. The spaces are a little bit different, but the main thing is that you have these expert workers that you can train and put them. So it's a new action. You put them around the board, and then whenever you do that action, you get some extra little benefit and bonus. So it creates even more of a thinky puzzle. And then it's almost kind of like a prelude expansion in that it gives you stuff to start with. You get wine, you get grapes. The only thing is you don't have all 3 of your fields. And I think the reason was because everybody would just sell 2 of their fields at the beginning anyway, right? So they give you more money and you start with just 1 field. So it's kind of like skipping the first few turns that people usually have with viticulture. So it was cool having that new action with the expert workers. There's also a new action that lets you do any action anywhere on the board, which I love because there's so many times like I've planned out, I've gamed out where all our workers are going to go, and then, someone gets it right before me. So it's a little bit more forgiving, which I think that game needs, especially at an even number player count, whenever you're fighting over, an average of 1 space per 2 people instead of when it's an odd number and you get that extra space. So I approve. It gets my stamp of approval.
Nice.
I like it. I know we've played Viticulture together. Was it that six-player game we did? It was.
Yeah, Tom Vassell made fun of
Dice
us.
Tower. Yep.
Yeah.
And we got to see a variety of strategies in that game. So you're right. Selling everything off is a strategy. It's what most everyone does. Let's just skip that like prelude.
Yep. But that's sort of what I think in his design notes, he talked about how he wanted to, one, give you a little bit of a start. So you start with some money, you start with some grapes, you start with some wine already. You have more diversity in your cards you're choosing, so you don't have to hunt for certain cards. And then that like he wanted to push it to more of making wine, which makes it easier to make
Instead
wine
of point salad.
instead of point.
Right.
Yeah, that was good. I'm looking forward to trying this board. I might actually bring viticulture to our next game day. We have Wesley Chapel board game coming up on the 23rd, so maybe I'll bring viticulture and try to give that a try.
I really like the extra options built into the board, like the pictures showing. Being able to have more of a market of cards to choose from versus just like drawing off the top of the deck.
For the wine and wine order cards,
you can get really unlucky with the draw, and someone else get really lucky. So they have a market to pick from for some of the cards. And then another thing that I thought was cool, which I feel like it kind of goes against the negating point salad. The trading is a grid. There's like 6 or 7 things on the top and on the right, and you can put one of the little glass beads out and trade what's on the left or what's on the top. And only one person can do that per game, though. So as the game progresses, your options for the trade get less and less.
Now, there is an expert that you can hire that lets you either clear that or do the action again. Okay, yeah.
Gain any one exposed bonus on the chosen action. That's the expert. Interesting.
Each spot has an expert. So like each season, each of the spots has an expert. Only one person can hire an expert for that spot, and it gives you an additional action when you go.
Yeah, they all do different things, but that particular.
I like hearing what Mitch was talking about though, because I know that it opened it up by allowing more options in the market and by allowing you to go. There's an action that lets you go to any space, makes it more friendly. But where's the tension going to come from? The trading is a place that adds tension. It sounds like what Mitch is saying, right, Mitch?
Yeah, well, I don't know if I would say that. There is some competition there, but in my opinion, it gives you more options for trading. Because if you remember in the old version, there's like 3 or 4 things you could trade, like cards, wine, points, coins, and then if you have the cheese expansion cows. But this, it's like, okay, I need this. These are all the different things I can give up for it. Or alternatively, I have all these extra things. I'm going to have to get rid of all these cards, so I might as well trade it in for something useful. That was more the... to me, it felt a little bit more freeing in that way rather than adding tension.
Oh, okay. So even with the grid filling up towards the end of the game, it still didn't add a lot of tension to the game.
Yeah, not too much. In general, I feel like this is this makes the game less mean, maybe a little bit less take that. Like even one of the wake up rows, if you go first, you're getting benefits to everybody. Like everybody ages their wine, everybody gets a coin, that kind of thing. And all of the wake-up spots have bonuses on every spot, whereas it used to be with Tuscany Central Edition, some of the higher spaces for going earlier, you have to sacrifice getting bonuses each time you pass into a new season. But this one is just like, no, you get a bonus, you get a bonus. So I feel like it makes it a little bit more feel-good of an experience.
That's interesting because it sounds like it's a thread that Jamie is pulling on in both this viticulture and in the new Wingspan expansion. The Americas expansion, it feels like it just opens up more doors, more friendly gameplay.
Yeah, I think that's kind of his MO, especially as he's gotten his company's grown and grown. He's all about the positivity and stuff, and I can respect that. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
And it certainly makes it more accessible potentially.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is. I don't know. There's a lot of mechanics here that more so than just the base viticulture. So I was going to say maybe this is the version I would teach to newer gamers. Maybe not new gamers, but people who haven't played viticulture before. I think this would be a friendlier entry point just because, what we talked about, there being more options and more getting things off turn to build up your engine for what you need. But I could be wrong. I'd be interested to see what you guys' thoughts are once y'all play it as well.
I'm writing it down in my must-play games list. I have it. I just haven't cracked it open.
Anyway, if you bring it that game day, maybe I'll try to jump in with you. I plan to be there. So
yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah, when I brought it up to wifey, she's like, "Nope, you promised me a game of Viticulture World."
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want to.
Come on, don't do me here like that.
Oh yeah.
I love me here. He's cool, but man, that game hurts. Like, I even bought the stupid deck because they sell an extra deck you can buy online, which is like an intro to the intro because the intro was too hard, and I still haven't been able to win that. She gets enough points. I just can't figure out how to earn enough points. Y'all saw my score in Shackleton Base.
That's still mind-blowing to me.
Yeah. I think that's what happened when we played, because I know we played it once, and I think I had a decent amount of points, and you came up a little short. So yeah.
It's not the only thing I come up short in.
Whoa. It's not quite after 10 yet, huh? One other thing, real quick, I mentioned, I know, I'm forgetting his name, but our friend from Israel had mentioned a few weeks ago that he was playing Golem whenever he had called in. We got in another play of Golem. It was the first time I played it in years. That's a fun game where, the rabbis are making these golems, but the stronger the golems get, it can kind of get unwieldy, because if they get too far ahead of the students, you start losing wisdom. And if you don't have the wisdom for that, you have the points. So it's super brain melty game where, like, the core mechanics are simple, but then there's so many options on the turn, and there's so many icons. It's like, how do you string these all together to get success and not basically become too big for your britches and have these super powerful golems that you can't control? That's a nice one from Cranio, from the Italian people, Luciani and all them, that I was glad to see get to the table again.
Yeah, I think I've played it twice, and it's fun. It's not one that I mentioned to play all the time, but it's a fun game. Yeah.
I like that push pull of, like, run the golem down, but then you have to try to keep up, and which track do you go on? Do you try to balance it out? It was a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one that I don't think I could table super often, like Rob's saying, just because, like, by the end of it, like, I felt it in my body, the tension of my body, just figuring out, how do I maximize these 12 turns? Like, it doesn't feel like 12 turns, because if you're doing it right, each one of your turns, you do so much stuff, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, what if I do one thing wrong, then 5 turns down the road, I'm going to be screwed, so I have to get it right now. I was just, like, tense after. It's kind of the opposite of what I was saying about Bordeaux, right? It was not a relaxing game or a more forgiving game.
Not as friendly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, I'm hitting my 10-minute mark here, so I'll let you guys go. I'll be in the chat at least for a little bit, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys at Dice Tower East in a couple months. I guess less than 2 months at this point. Yeah, getting close.
Yeah.
July
July 4th. Yeah.
Hopefully you found that replacement airline. I don't know if
I did.
if they had any deals for those that got their Spirit taken out.
They're bringing back Spirit.
Doing that, but that was for, like, immediate flights, like people who are stranded that day. But in the long run, I mean, it was a good bit more expensive. But Southwest did not close in the last week, so I feel lucky for that. Unlike Spirit,
Now, there's been that one teaser video of the Lord of the Rings King's Gambit.
Oh yeah.
How many copies are you pre-ordering?
Oh, about 20. I need one for each room in the house.
I gotta see how much is the deluxe copy gonna cost, though.
I gotta know, like, is that modeling real? Like, is that like what they really plan to have me put on the table?
Yeah, I'm sure it'll scale back somewhat, but it looks like what they're shooting for.
Because, dude, it looked like the corner of my table will have, like,
over on the side, and Mm-hmm.
I mean, you also got to think about scale too. It may not be as big as you think, But look at the Dark Tower. I mean, it's a pretty big piece.
Yeah,
it'll be a tiny little 4-inch mountain.
Yeah,
size matters, right? Yeah,
objects are closer than they appear.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to be able to play a game of it at Origins with the demo copy, not demo, but the prototype, hopefully. And if so, I'll definitely report back and let y'all know. But yeah, I'm getting fired up for it for sure.
So I didn't realize it was going to head that route to have, like, a miniatures table presence to it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Cool. They say it has more miniatures than War of the Ring. Like, it's a lot.
I think I'm going to be in. I'm in. Yeah, here it is. Pulling it up.
This last show you said you were out. Now you're in.
Yeah,
I mean,
this is actually in addition to that Lord of the Rings game. I remember last week. Who was it? One of the tanks from Board Game Barrage said we've hit peak Lord of the Rings.
No,
we haven't. Just today, Middle Earth Enterprises and Asmodee had announced 3 more publishers have been given rights to produce Lord of the Rings based games. So Grand Gamers Guild, who did Endeavor Deep Sea, Stoneblade Entertainment that published Ascension, and Play to Z have all been given selected by Asmodee produced new Lord of the Rings titles.
Nice.
So as if we
Hey man, as long as they're solid titles,
solid
I
companies,
approve.
but as if we didn't have enough Lord of the Rings games, there are 3 more companies now going to now produce a Lord of the Rings themed game. I'm kind of the most
actually.
Yeah.
Berkey with Game Tappers LLC has gotten permission to print officially licensed Lord of the Rings mats now.
Mats.
Oh, man.
Oh man.
There we go. Back in.
I think I'm most interested for Grand Gamers Guild. Like, what are they going to do at Lord of the Rings? Because they got. I don't really think of a bad game that they produced. So
I just made it to book 2 of the Fellowship of the Rings book, the actual book. So this is where Frodo wakes up in Rivendell. So I really understanding that the movies really didn't follow the books is what I've learned so far.
Yeah, I mean, I think Peter Jackson got the heart of it, although some of the facts are a little different. Yeah, because Arwen did not go to the Sword of Brunnen. It was another elf, right?
Galadriel, I think it is.
Glorfindel.
Glorfindel.
I don't know how to pronounce these names. and one thing that I got, Mitch, is there's a lot of song in these in this book. Interesting that I don't recall there being much song in the movies. I wonder if they thought that would be too geeky.
There's about 1 per movie. Merry and Pippin sing some in the bars, and then Pippin sings the one to Denethor in Gondor, and then Aragorn sings his song whenever he gets crowned. So there's a few, but not nearly as many. You're right.
Yeah, I feel like every other chapter, I'm getting 2 or 3 songs with some history. Because all the songs tend to be about the history of the world, so you really get immersed, which has got me playing more of the trick-taking game, because that follows the literature, not the movies. Mm-hmm. So those characters are now starting to make sense. I'm glad I'm starting to geek out with the level, not the level of you and Ron Fraser, but I'm starting to understand where y'all are coming from with the literary Lord of the Rings.
Get deep.
Yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying it, man. Maybe you'll finish by the time it's Dice Tower East and we can geek out in person and gush about it. We'll see.
Hoping he's going to be there.
They scheduled a trial right for we've been work. I'm work. My spirit has also been dampened.
Yeah.
I have a solution, Carlos. Just quit your job.
There you go.
That works.
Yeah.
I'll talk to
I
wifey.
hadn't thought of that.
Yeah. He had not.
No.
That sucks.
Good night, Mitch.
I still got to hit you up, Mitch, online
later.
because I'm leaving for Greece in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from yesterday, so I got to hit you up before I leave.
Bring your own copy of Santorini. It's not included.
We'll talk about that soon, Rob.
Will do.
All right, later. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
That's how it's done. It's a call-in show. Put it on the board. We got a call.
There's one. So you mentioned Spirit Airlines, and we talked about that. Y'all saw that they might be bringing Spirit Airlines back. Did y'all see that story?
The ghost of Spirit Airlines.
People are trying to
Spirit
crowdfund it. That's never going to
Somebody
happen.
as mostly a joke went online and said that they want that trying to get people to put money together. I haven't seen it in the last couple of days, but as of Sunday, they were up to $334 million had been raised.
That would be enough for like 6 months.
They would always have to change a lot of stuff around, but that was in just less than a week. So I mean, if they kept that going and a lot of people kicked in, they said it might become the first ever publicly owned airline owned by the people. So that would be interesting. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
Like just one plane costs $300 million.
Well, they got new planes. That's not a problem right now.
Oh, I know, but I'm talking about maintenance and salary and payroll. They'd be out of money, and that. Yeah, you would need a couple of bill.
Well, they have to restructure the way they do it. Obviously, there was a reason they went out of business. So if they get enough to fund it for a little while, they can change the way they run it.
Scene in I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker, the movie back in the day when young Chris Rock goes in the barbecue store. Can I have one rib?
One.
Can I have one plane? Can we just have one plane? One Spirit, not Spirits, just one Spirit.
Spirit Airlines.
One Spirit. Not I don't know. Had they merged with JetBlue, would we be here today? I don't know.
JetBlue's in trouble too. Like JetBlue could be going away soon too.
Which is scary because it's just going to give the major carriers even more control. I know we're not like news and podcasts, but hey, I'm sorry, it's who we are. If you don't like it, call in. It's yours for 10 minutes. Do like Mitch did.
Yep.
But man, if these smaller airlines go away, like those airlines reduce prices.
But eventually somebody will come along and start another small airline.
You would think. There's going to be
the other small guys will get bigger, and JetBlue's not in good shape either. Their financials are looking pretty crap. So
I did get one more game in it. I wanted to talk. If y'all done with that, one more. So right before the show tonight, my son and I was telling Wayne about it before the show. Broke out the Flamecraft duels that I borrowed from Carlos. I posted some pictures of that on the Discord channel. But there's Aaron enjoying Geekway to the West this week. We'll be back next week to give the review. Playing Euphoria Essentials Edition right now. Nice.
Give Jamie Stegmaier a hug for us. I know he likes to say he doesn't like to touch, but he does. Just reach in, like don't even ask. Just reach in and hug deep, and just let him know it's from us.
I really want to know about Euphoria because I didn't pull the trigger on it, and because Carlos has it. Carlos got the upgrade pack. Janela and Chris have it, and they're gonna get the upgrade pack. And I'm like, I'll play it first before I decide if I want to buy it, but I probably should have just bought it.
Yeah, it's good, not great, but I like it. Yeah.
Sorry, Rob, go ahead.
Oh no, it's just Flamecraft duels. So, Carlos had kind of described it as a war chest light. It's for anybody who's played war chest, and it's kind of like that. You've got a grid that you're putting chips out on. You're drawing them out of a bag just randomly. They have, I think it's 6 different powers, 6 different types of chips. And you just draw one randomly, you place it on the board, and then you get to activate its power. For the most part, there's some exceptions and things. We did not play, Carlos, with any of the upgrade stuff. They call it the fancy version.
Fountain.
We didn't
play with the fancy dragon.
We didn't play the fancy dragon or the fountain. We just played the base game. We knocked out 2 games of that in less than an hour, I think. But I liked it. We both really liked it. My son loves the art. He was just gushing. He was going through the cards. Oh, look at this little dragon. Look at this little dragon. So he's never played the regular Flamecraft.
Do you have the regular Flamecraft?
I do not. So.
You're going to have to borrow that one next. Take that over there and play it full. Play it full, fancy dragons, everything. He's going to love it.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the Flamecraft. The Flamecraft was okay, but anyway. But we'll play it. He really wants to play it. He really likes the art and stuff. But I like the duels. It was quick, 30 minutes. Neat little stacking aspect with some of the chits that you pull, and just activating the powers. You're just activating powers to try to get the right combinations of patterns on the board to match up some victory point cards that you're trying to score. And as soon as at the end of your turn, if you've got the pattern, you reveal the card, put it on a scoring pile, and then draw another card or replacement cards from the deck. And you just keep going till either all the chips have been drawn out of the bag or you've gone through all the cards. The 2 games we played, we didn't even come close to going through all the cards. So I'm going to assume usually it ends with drawing the last chit out of the bag. But it was fun. Light.
If you can kind of geometry out and math out the actions to try to trigger both your cards.
Yep.
It just feels good. You add the fountain expansion, Robert, and it adds a fountain in the center of the board. Mm-hmm. That fountain blocks the space, right? So it makes it harder to fill these goals that you're trying to hit.
Sure.
However, if you complete the goal for the fountain card, so you can do all 3 cards in one time. So you can knock out 3 cards and get points from all 3. And when you fulfill the fountain, you move the fountain onto a stack anywhere on the board. You move that fountain onto that stack. You then put back all those chits into the bag. So you're kind of resetting a stack. Maybe there's some chits that you want to be able to use again. Mm-hmm. You reset the stack with those. However, you keep one. That'll be your next play. So you can really think ahead on that one. If you can get the fountain, I can trigger the fountain, get some extra points if I can get all 3 cards in one shot. Then move the fountain to a place where I want that shit because I'm going to activate that as my next turn for my next move. So it gets a little deeper when you add the fountain. I know it feels very light. It's a very light game.
Yeah.
But it's cute and it's easy.
Yeah. Arby read those rules for the fountain real quick, and he was like, "Oh, here's some extra complexity to the game." He goes, "There, that's what you want to do. You want to put the fountain in there." So we'll give that a try before I give it back to you. So
very cool.
It was
very
good.
Cool.
Yeah, I liked
Glad to hear it.
Yep.
At Disney, we were in line. Last time we were at Disney, we were here this past weekend. We were there a couple of weeks ago, and while waiting in line, actually May the 4th, that Sunday we were there. While we were waiting in line, the game of choice was 20 questions. Like, oh, I'm thinking of a Star Wars character. Who is it? So this time I brought with me Travel or Tapple Mini. This is the Tapple. Tapple is the game where you will pick a card. It'll have a category on it. And then there's a timer. You smash the button on the timer, and then you pass it to the player to your left. That player now has to come up with a name of something in that category using one of the available letters that surrounds the Tapple board. In the mini Tapple, instead of being a big, almost page size, it's 7-inch platter of plastic, this is it uses those bubble pops, those little fidget toys that the kids have that are made out of bubbles. So it's real easy to keep, and it's very easy to take with you. And you're just gonna name a category, pop the letter when you say the name of it, pop the button again, and pass it to the next person. So we played that in line. It worked out great. I think, went through a couple of games of it, and I ended up winning one of them. But it was nice. It was a great way to pass the time. And since it's portable, it's hand size like this. It's the size of a burger. I don't know if you're a fat guy like me. Everything is determined by
relative
food.
to food. Yeah.
Yes. So it's about the size of a burger. And you just kind of pass it to the next person when you tap the button. And now they have to push a button and go. What my middle boy, Gabe, the 15-year-old, he said he struggled with it only because he didn't like that. Once the letter was used, no one else can use that letter again.
Well, yeah.
And I'm like, bro, that's the fun part of it.
It's kind of the whole thing.
So
there's no reset button on there. So when you pop all the little bubbles to reset it, you got to go back and unpop them all. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would say the winner gets the fun kinetic feeling of pushing them back,
or the penalty.
Well, it's like popping bubble wrap. It's what it feels like.
Sure. Okay.
It's a great little setup, too. What I want to do is, on my phone, find the... Actually, I want to buy the Disney version.
The cards.
And then get those cards and use those cards. I was trying to find it on my phone while in line, so we can kind of theme the categories to Disney next time we're there, or to animals, like if we're at Busch Gardens.
Sure.
Kind of theme it to wherever we're at or what we're doing.
Cool.
Then I played it with wifey right before the parade. We're just sitting on the curb waiting for the parade in the evening, and I busted it out, and she kind of rolled her eyes at me like, because I'm always busting out a game. Like, that's what I do. And then we started playing, and our category was furniture. So it just kind of came up as furniture, and that was fun. Like, we try to think, names of furniture that attach to letters. So that was, it's a good little game. It's like $10. Tapple Mini, can't help but recommend it.
Yeah. And you pick that up just pretty much anywhere, like Walmart.
I think Target. I think
like
is right. I scooped that one up. Yep.
Okay. Cool. Nice.
Wayne, you still have some on the list. Rob, do you have any on the list?
I think that's it for me this week.
I got another play. Yeah, I got another play Advantage. So I'm enjoying that. This one, it was good as I started playing, and it was definitely a longer play because you have your mission and then I forget the other thing now, your destiny or whatever. And I was trying to do both, so I play longer to get like the perfect victory. So it was good because I was like, I played for a couple hours one night. I was watching basketball. And then it's like, well, I don't want to just end it right now. So I kind of just saved it. So I just took the components and just chucked it in the box. And it was, again, pretty easy to set up. So I keep talking about how easy it is to set up, and it was kind of easier to just save where I was and pick it up the next day. So I'm still enjoying it. Still haven't played with the family because we chose to do Cozy Stickerville. So we'll see. I'm still trying to get there. But yeah, still enjoying Advantage. Obviously, it's more popular than we maybe thought because it's winning all the awards. I mean, it kind of cleaned up, I think, in the BGG awards this past week. So maybe we'll get to that when we get to the news. And then the other game is a game of Targi.
Thank you, Wayne, for teaching me.
Yeah, I will count that as a live play because Carlos and I first started playing it on BGA, and then we kind of finished it electronically. So I want to throw that to you though, Carlos. I mean, I played Targi a ton, and I love it. So what did you think?
It was a lot more. It was a lot deeper than I expected it to be. I really want to get it to the table in person now because I really feel the implementation of it on my tablet is hard to read the
cards.
Specifically the I can't remember the name of, not the goods cards, but the not Civilization. What's the name of those people?
Like your village cards, like
the cards that score you points and also give you abilities. Like it's hard. It's tough to read it.
So the Targi, the Oasis, the Desert, the Camel Rider.
Yes,
those guys. Yeah.
So I'd like to have the actual play on the tabletop, and I think if we play in one set, it'll be better. It'll be more strategic. When we chopped it up, once we went asymmetric, it kind of lost it for me because I wasn't able to keep the strategy going. I have a tough time like coming back to a strategy game on BGA because I'm forgetting what I was going to do a few turns from now. Like what's my goal here? What am I trying to set up for? And sometimes I'll just lay out a worker and be like, no, I didn't want that thing, like that cross. But the tactical piece of the crossing of the T's
and then blocking people and
that was fun. Buying abilities to help break rules. So like as soon as I saw the ability that allowed me to place where the robber was, which is a place that Wayne couldn't go, it opened up more opportunities for me, so I didn't have as negative experience. Then I saw the card that allows you to pay for workers one less cheaper when you pay for them from your noble. So it's like, okay, I can go with this like discount strategy. So I scooped that up real quick, and I couldn't pay for it, so I just put it with my noble, paid for them later. So it has this depth to it where it's not just getting goods to score points. You're having to divide your turns with getting abilities that help you build engines to score more points and end game scoring. So it's like all the big stuff that you would find in a Euro game, like get stuff that helps you and build engines, get stuff that helps you with end game scoring, get goods so you can do stuff. And now you have to figure out which one matters the most right now as you're watching the countdown clock come to the end. Yeah. Like, when do I switch away from engine building and move more towards scoring? For all that, I will say Targi feels like a good Euro game for 2 players in a short amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head. It's way deeper than people give it, or than they think about it. You think a lot of 2-player games, you sometimes think it's not as deep, but this is very small. It is Tiny Epic before Tiny Epic. You know, it was like there's a lot there in that game, more than, and it has a relatively small footprint. You know, it's a 9x9, 6x6 grid or whatever it is. So it's not, you know.
Is the box the same size as the Watergate box?
Yeah, maybe even thinner.
Okay.
Smaller, yeah.
So it is a smaller box.
It's like a little Cosmos square, box. Yeah. And I have the expansion too, which gives you like another type of good and some additional cards and stuff. So
I don't like the feed your people part. Like every time the robber takes a corner, something bad happens.
But there is a card that lets you, that when you buy that, gives you the ability to not have to pay for those.
And there's just one. So only one of you will get it.
Yeah.
But it's a really good game. It was on my list to play, and now it's on my wish list.
There you go.
But the thing is, it's so deep. Like it felt light in action, but deep in winning. Like if I'm gonna win this against Wayne, and we actually tied. That was the coolest part. We ended up tying. I don't even know what the tiebreaker was, but it was like
most goods remaining and something else, and then I won by a hair on that. Yeah.
So thank you for teaching me.
Yep, I know Rob, you've played it a couple times. You and I played it once.
Yeah,
at least. Yeah. So it's fun.
I like it. It's a good game. Yeah.
Let's go to the top of the table here for my last one. This was a haul thing. How do I do this? There it is. There we go. Back to the table. Lord of the Rings, the Duels for Middle Earth. I'm reading the book. I'm sorry. I'm playing a lot of Lord of the Rings stuff right now because I'm reading the book.
You didn't know this one already?
I did, but what I picked up, gentlemen, is I saw an article on BGG that the BGG store had the expansion or upgrade kits, these promo landmarks, as they call them. So it's 2 new landmarks. One is the giant wolf head that, battering ram.
Interesting.
Which allows you to destroy an opponent's tower and workers, and then replace it with one of your own. So like you just take over somebody's tower. So that's pretty mean. I like that. And then there's this one is the Shire.
Mitchell has pronounced
Grand.
It's Grand.
There are names for these things. I got this one, the Shire. I figured that one out. I'm still not quite sure exactly what it does, but I think it lets you discard a card from the tableau. I don't know. The symbols. It's got symbols. But I was able to. I was worried that like these would sell out, so I scooped them up real quick. I think they were like $8 each. So yeah, I feel kind of stupid doing it, but this is a great game. Lord of the Rings, Duel for Middle Earth, totally worth it.
The Shire
Shire
Relish,
Chip's second breakfast.
I wonder if that's really
Nice.
it. Now I'm gonna have to Google it.
I'm sure on the back of the little thing you took it out, there's a rule.
There's not. There's a QR
isn't?
code. Thank you, stupid internet.
Oh,
So let's QR code this
really?
bad boy.
QR code, really? Boo.
I know they could have just printed it
It's not on
right
the back?
here.
It's not on the back?
No, it's just a bunch of like trademark stuff and all that garbage.
Boo.
Let's see. No, it just took me to during setup. After revealing 3 landmark tiles, shuffle the Shire tile with the other remaining landmark tiles to form the stack face down. Play a visible card from the current chapter to your play area, whether it's available or not. Unlike other landmarks, do not place a fortress on the central board.
Oh, come on, Carlos. That's clearly what those icons showed, right?
Oh, right. So it shows the stack, right? It shows the stack there. And then it says play a visible card from the current chapter, even if it's not available. So it has to be a face-up card that's in the pyramid somewhere, and just play it to my area. That's it. I like it.
Simple enough.
The Shire just grabs a card and plays it.
Interesting.
And
I got one. Oh, go ahead.
That's pretty much it. How do I download this and print it?
I got one more big one. One more big one that I forgot to talk about because I haven't logged it. My daughter and I played the first 2 of 3 chapters in the new, I guess they're calling it season 2 of the Arkham Horror, the living card game, LCG. And she's liking it a lot. She had never played it before. And she's really enjoying, even just 2 games in, all the things they do with those decks of cards. And our first game came down to the very last turn. I had to resign. I had to escape. And then she had to play 2 more rounds by herself to complete the big mission. So without giving anything away. And so it was a nail biter. It came down to just a flip of a card, a pull of a chit for her. And we ended up getting the best result available in the first game. The second game, we did pretty well. We didn't get the best result. Anybody who's played knows that there's usually, depending on how far you get or whatever you do in the scenario, there's multiple different endings. So, and then they lead into advantages or disadvantages in the next scenario. And so we played the first 2 out of 3. Again, she left for Greece this morning, so we're going to have to leave it hanging. But the new base set that you get has 3 scenarios in it. I believe in July they're coming out with the first full 5 scenario playthrough. So I'm definitely going to pick that up. Michael Fortino over at Armada Games held on to all the expansion. The base game comes with 5 playable characters. They came out with 5 individual decks of each of the 5 major categories, types of players that you can play. They came out with an expansion, a second character for each one of those. So he held those for me and I got to pick those up. Haven't tried any of them out yet. We're still in our first run of the game, but I also picked up some acrylic tokens from Michael.
Nice.
For the 2-way or the 1-way passages between the different cards. So I got to upgrade the cardboard out of the box to those new acrylic pieces. And I think I'm going to have them order me some mats and go all in on this. But
nice.
Yeah, I already liked the game, and my daughter enjoying it has resparked that love in me for it, watching her discover it for the first time. So yeah, I think I'm going to try to pick up everything they've got as it comes out here. And I'm actually, I wish they would turn up the releases. I know a lot of people probably don't because there's so much old content out there already, but I'm looking to pick up all the new stuff as it comes out.
Could you, I know what, is it Dan that has all the old stuff?
Dan does. He's got everything.
Borrow some of that and run through it.
I may have to. Yeah, I sent him a message about a week and a half ago, asked him if he was interested in playing again because we haven't played in probably 6 months. And he's been busy with various things and I haven't heard back from him yet, but yeah, but if he doesn't want to, then maybe I'll ask him to borrow a chapter or something and play through it. But yeah, really cool. Great game. That's it for me. That's all I had this last week.
That's it for me. That's our full twig there.
Yeah. We're going to try to get some news in this week.
Oh, there's some fun stuff out there.
Oh yeah. There's always good stuff in the news. Yeah.
It was that, all right. Did we jump into that video that popped up this morning?
You
Have that fun?
I can't remember which one that was. I watched
Listen,
several of them this morning.
250 years ago, we kicked them out of our nation. Let's watch them fight.
The Brit,
Oh.
Brit on Brit violence.
Yes.
I'm here for the Brit on Brit violence.
So,
a couple of weeks ago, I watched the board game bollocks video on AI. It might have been a month ago.
I must have missed it. So
I haven't seen it.
It was interesting because I started seeing that he was going more. His thumbnails were all going towards AI. Like I can see his thumbnail style had changed and it was all AI. But he did a video talking about use of AI in gaming. You know, the positives and negatives, and he's here for it basically. Oh, we got a call coming in.
Caller.
Saved by the bell.
Beansanddice podcast. State your name. Where are you calling from?
Howdy, guys. It's Chris from Texas.
Hey,
hello, Chris.
What's going on?
How are y'all tonight?
We are swell.
Awesome. Y'all getting ready for summer with the kids and summer plans and all that?
The school's got another week, 2 weeks.
Dice Tower is, a month and a half away.
Yep.
Very nice. Yeah. My kids' last day of school was today. So yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Today was officially their first day of summer vacation. Yeah, they get out early. It's like a homeschool, private school, like hybrid. And so it's block scheduling. So they go Monday, Wednesday at school, and then they're homeschooled the other 3 days. But Wednesday was their last day. So they are on summer vacation now. So
we go to May 29th, actually. So 3 more weeks.
Okay. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Wow.
2 more weeks. Yeah.
Okay. When do y'all have to go back?
We usually go back to first week in August, second week, August 10th, something like that.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So we actually get out later but go back. We get out earlier, but go back earlier. Whereas up north, like I'm originally from up north, you actually usually didn't start until after, was it Labor Day? Memorial Day?
Labor Day.
Labor Day. Yeah. You start after Labor Day, and then you go through the end of almost to into June sometimes. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know we're just about to get started with hurricane season, so getting them out of school and trying to do as much of that outside of hurricane season, that usually impacts our plans. We have all these days that the kids have planned off for the school year, but they're all asterisked that in the event of hurricane days, these will be your makeup days. So don't plan anything too big.
Yeah, that's wisdom. Yeah.
But I'm sending one to summer camp for a couple of weeks. The others are grown. So my hope is that I can get some more gaming in now that the weekends will be less ROTC, less band, right? Less of those extracurricular activities.
It's like last weekend, this weekend. Last weekend was the last weekend of all of that stuff for a while for me. This next week, no soccer, no band, no theater, no nothing.
I do have a honey-do list I got to get through. I got some faucets I need to install and some bathrooms, and some.
Well, that's fine. I can't wait. This weekend is going to be cleaning out the garage and throwing away, donating a bunch of stuff. And
but the sooner I get done with that, the sooner I can get to some gaming this summer.
And I'm coming up to in the summertime. We do 4-day work week. So we do 4/10s, and we're off Fridays starting the end.
Oh yeah, because I think William does that too with his because he works for the county as well, for the school district. Yeah. So we might see more of him with him having that day off during the week.
Maybe, yep. So I'll have a Fridays.
Yeah, summer's feeling good, Chris. Summer's feeling good.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. Well, I'll be in your neck of the woods later this year, going to Disney World. So it'll be towards the end of the year, though. But
nice.
Eventually, be in your neck of the woods.
Welcome to Florida, where Florida man reigns.
Yeah, it's been a while. Last time I was in Florida was in high school, so it's been a while. That was the last time I was at Disney World. Was the last time I was in Florida. Let's go figure.
Which park are you doing?
Right now we're doing a 3-day. We're doing 3 days at parks and then 2 rest days. So we're doing Epcot, Hollywood Studios, and Magic Kingdom.
Okay,
and
that
2
works.
rest days in there.
Is there rest days? Is there any room for gaming in those rest days?
Well, that's the hope. I mean, they also have lots of cool stuff. We're doing the Caribbean Resort, which is like 200 acres.
Nice.
It's like, I think the largest one. It's apparently it was one of the worst ones at one point, and then they renovated it, and now it's like super nice and it's all spread out. And so I'm pretty excited to do some resorting too for 2 of those days. They have a giant pool with 2 water slides, and pretty sweet.
Cool.
And then, of course, the Disney dining package. So we'll be eating there. And so it's going to be fun.
Yeah, because we stayed there, but I think we were there like during the renovations, so we didn't get the benefits of all the renovations. But it was a beautiful setup.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward. I've seen some videos online and some photos, and it just looks great. So I'm looking forward to it. And it's a moderate pricing, so it won't break the bank. Some of those get really, really steep.
Oh yeah,
some of those resorts. So it'll be fun. Another note, we talked about earlier, guys. You mentioned engine building. I just kind of caught the tail end of that. What are you guys thinking of the VGA implementation of Century Golem Edition?
I'm still struggling with it, and it isn't the fault of BGA, and it isn't the fault of Golem Edition, but I think it's the combination of the two. In Century Golem Edition, it really is one quick action. Like, you're just doing one little thing. So it's like, okay, with the 4 of us playing, it might take a day before I get back to my turn again, and then I feel like I'm just like I'm trying to scrape paint off the wall, like one chip at a time. Like, how long is this going to take? So it's not the fault of the game. It's not the fault of BGA, but when you put the two together, I feel like it's very slow pace. It's not that quick, snappy turns that Rob loves so much, that I love so much, because unless we're playing it in real time, it's going to take a little while.
Yeah, I think for me, I've just played the game like so many times. What I do is I just take a look at the board state, see what cards are available. Both the cards you can choose and you can pay for, and obviously the ones you can turn in your gems for. I just take a look every time it's my turn at the board state, see what's available, see what my best action is at the time, whether to play a card, take a card, or purchase a card. And then, then I just don't think about it. And then once my turn again, I look at it again, because, that board state can change, obviously, based on what the other players do. If they play a card, it doesn't change at all. But if they do one of the other two actions, it changes. So
I guess I need to take advantage of the feature that allows you to sort your cards in your hand, because my struggle is when I get back into it, I have to remember what was I trying to get to, like what was my next card I was going to play. And so I guess I'm gonna go try, because I'm actively in a game with you guys, and I've been in a game with my wife of Golem Edition. So it's like I'm in 2 games right now. Let me try that, and then next week when we talk again, I'll see if it changes my impression to the game, if I can sort and organize a little better.
Okay. What about you, Rob? What are your impressions of the BGA implementation?
I like it. I was going to say, I think Carlos is overthinking it. I just, I play my turn, I let it go. When it comes back up, I take about 15 seconds to reassess the board. And I'm like, oh no, I probably wanted to do that. And I just do it, play my turn, let it go, come back the next day. I have no problem with the gaps. I'm not, there are certain games that kills me in, like TI4 or some of those other games where you would play a turn and it might be a day or two before your next one. And what you needed to do in the right order was super, super important. But with the Golem and Century games, I don't know, maybe it's just because they're lighter. I don't put that much thought into it. I just grab the next card, play the next card, convert some things into things, and see what's available when I'm ready to buy stuff. So yeah, I just kind of go with it.
Yeah. Rob, I got another thing. So I talked about King of Tokyo Godzilla coming out of Gen Con last time I called in. So another thing you may not be aware of is King of Tokyo Digital for iOS, Android, Switch. And I think it might be on Steam too. I think it's like 4 different platforms. It's coming out this month.
Oh wow! No, I hadn't heard of that.
Yeah, and we're going to be playing it on the Switch, because we play most of our games on the Switch as a family. So that'll be really fun having 4 people playing King of Tokyo on the TV, and it'll be pretty fun.
Do we know if they're cross-platform at all? We may not know that yet, but if somebody has it on the Switch and somebody else has it on their iOS or whatever,
I don't know. That's a good question. I have not done any research on that. I know Dice Throne Digital will be cross-platform.
Okay.
That's coming out, next year, but I don't know about King of Tokyo. That's a good one. I need to look up that.
A decent number of those games they usually are cross-platform, because if it's on Steam, that's usually you can do it on multiple platforms. I'm looking at it. It'd be not that I don't play very many games like that, but it'd be cool to see if there's like the animations of it, like when you go into Tokyo or like you kick a guy out, and hopefully they have some good stuff there. Oop, did we lose a call?
I think we did.
Nope.
Yep.
I heard the boo boo boo. Yeah.
Yep. But another call's coming in. Beansanddice podcast. State your name. Where you calling from?
Hey, it's Chris again. Sorry about that. My son was asking me a question, and I took out my earbud, and then it somehow hung up. Because I wasn't looking at my phone. So sorry about that. I didn't mean to hang up on you guys.
No,
Did you get an answer on the cross-platform thing? Because that really bothered us.
I'm looking that up right now, actually. So I will let you know.
I have been playing on my Switch more. Not my Switch. My son's Switch. My 19-year-old. He kind of stopped using his Switch, so I kind of like co-opted it, and I've been playing Wingspan on it. So it's nice to get that out.
Yeah, that's a fun one on the Switch.
I was trying to decide what my next game is going to be on the Switch to buy. Sounds like King of Tokyo might be it.
Oh, that's true. Star Fox didn't come out till June. I was going to say Star Fox looks really good too. They're doing a re-implementation of Star Fox 64 Switch 2 edition. If you have a Switch 2, it looks really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the
King of Tokyo would be the one right now.
Yep, I have mostly used my Switch to play. I have the subscription, so you get all the old NES, Super NES, 64. Sega, Game Boy. So I enjoy playing those old games because you can rewind and save.
You can pause.
Yeah, makes it easier.
Like, oops. It's like the first time in my life I beat Mario. Yeah.
Never beat it. Never beat it.
I did on the Switch.
I did on one of them. I can't remember, but yeah.
But I love the old Tecmo football game and the hockey game.
I've got them Blades of Steel and Tecmo Bowl. I got them on NES.
I like the one before that where it's like you picked the fat, the skinny, and the medium skater guy.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it was good.
Anyway. My boys enjoyed it. All right, back to Chris. Final topics on this call-in.
Well, I talked about Disney World. Talked about King of Tokyo. Talked about Century. Lorenzo, Il Magnifico, Rob. How did you like the implementation of that on BGA?
It's good. I played it. We were in 2 games of it, I think, and I've played it probably 6 or 7 times now, and I like it. I've only played it twice live. That's actually a game I probably should have played more by now. We lose him again.
You bored him, Robert. You bored him.
Wow, put him to sleep.
Let him know about finish up your thoughts on Lorenzo Magnifico.
Yeah, he can listen in, but I like it. It's a pretty true implementation, so it's pretty natural.
No, those great thoughts, Robert. You had awesome thoughts there, Chris. Did you get all those thoughts?
Did you catch all that, Chris?
Yeah, I got most of it. Yeah, I agree. It's a good implementation. They actually have a version on Steam, though. I didn't get all of it, obviously. But on Steam, they have a pretty good implementation of it as well. I have it on Steam as well. And it's pretty similar to the Steam version.
Is it? I was going to ask if it was about the same because again, I've played it live and I've played it on BGA, and it seems to be a pretty 1-to-1. I don't know if anything that's lost on it by playing it online. So yeah, it's pretty true.
Yeah, pretty cool.
It's I had to decline that invite because I'd never played it. So sorry, I had to decline the invite because I remember getting you an invite for that, but I've never played it. So I was like, I don't want to get into this because I had like 70 other games going at the time. So I don't need to learn.
And it's a little tricky.
Totally cool.
Yeah, even though I've played it a few times, if I don't play it for a little while, I come back to it. I always get stuck. I'm like, hold on, why can I not play this stupid thing where I want to play it? And there's a lot of little rules about the columns and the colors and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's not super light. Yeah.
Before you go, Chris, help me out here.
Mm-hmm.
Switch guy, what board games on the Switch? Because I'm trying to decide. Wingspan's great, but I'm looking for other titles. Like I have ADHD. What other titles do you recommend? And y'all in the listening and in the chat, put in there what are good board game titles implementations on the Switch.
Okay, I'll say one of them I could think of is Raiders of the North Sea. I know that you didn't have a great experience with that the first time you played it, but that you played with all the expansions. This is just the base game.
On the Switch?
So it's very straightforward. On the Switch.
How do you see everything?
Oh, you can. It does a great job. The UI is great. You can see all the spots you can go to. It's zoomed out enough. And then what it does is you just either have the town on the bottom or the harbor and, all the rating spot above. So you just take an action at the bottom. You can see everything. And if you want to raid, then you go to the top. And then you can view all the spots. You just kind of move up with the thumbstick. And you can look at all the available spots on the harbor and, the fortresses and all that. It's really well done.
Some of these games that I'm seeing try to stay true to the board game feel. And then some other games go like completely video gamey. Like do you understand what I'm saying there? Like some of these, like Wingspan, right? Wingspan is closer to the board game feel, but to be able to fit it on the Switch, it doesn't, I can't see, it doesn't look like a tabletop simulator, right? Of the game, how far from like the board game is the style of Raiders of the North Sea? Is it doesn't feel like a board game, doesn't look like a board game, it's just a game?
I would say it plays like the board game, but they had a lot of animation. So when you're raiding, they show like your ship and they have like the firing on the land with some explosions and sound effects.
So it's getting away from the board game feel. It does get away from that.
Yeah, exactly. I think because of the sound effects and the music and all that, it's a little bit like a video game that way. But I would say as far as the way it plays just like the board game. So they just put some, I don't know, what's the best word, some decoration on it to make it maybe appeal to video game players a little more. Animation, a lot of animation they have in there.
Okay, I'm gonna take a look at that.
It doesn't detract from the board game. Yeah, highly recommend it.
I like worker placement.
Okay. Yeah, if you like worker placement, you'll like it. If you like Lords of the Waterdeep or any of those games like that, it's a blast, and it's not too much on the rules because it's just a base game.
Thank you. And those in the comments, throw one in for me if you find a Switch game that you think is a good board game implementation.
And there's one more I can think of off the top of my head is Stone Age, and because I know Wayne likes
I've never even played it.
Stone Age is awesome.
That's worker placement too, right, Wayne?
Yeah, love Stone Age. Yeah, worker placement with dice, and it's good.
Okay, I think I'm going to do that one first. No, but I do have to bust out my stinky leather cups, right, and have those with me while playing on the Switch to get the true feel.
Well, yeah, of course. They've got the odor. You can buy the little scents for that. So when you roll the dice, it sprays out that odor.
That's the DLC.
That's what you got to buy with it.
That's the DLC.
Yeah, that's the upgrade deluxe pack. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Chris.
You're welcome, guys. Y'all have a great night.
You too, brother.
Night, Chris.
God bless.
All right. Bye-bye. Yep.
All right, Chris from Texas, making it a call-in show. He's showing you how it's done. Mitch had a question in there about Tapple, but I think that was before I showed it off.
No, I think it came in after.
Was it after?
Yeah.
Okay,
we talking about Lord of the Rings. It was on the table, so he must have.
Okay, so Tapple was a game I played. This is like the travel version of Tapple. It uses like little tiny bubble pops, like what the kids play with, and the cards are actually tucked into the back of the machine in a little holder. So I just throw this in my bag and keep it with me, and I've got a game of Tapple anywhere I go. And it doesn't use batteries. It has a mechanical timer. So the pop-up timer is kind of used off of pressure, which is kind of cool, Rob, because it's a push your luck game also, because the button is not like a clock or battery. It's inconsistent. It says between 7 and 20 seconds is what you have. So,
jeez. I can just hold it for an extra second, give it to you. Might have 3 seconds.
Yep. That's what that is, Mitch. Tapple, portable Tapple.
Cool.
We were in the news. We were talking about Board Game Bollocks, who came out with a video. I pulled it up here just to kind of get the date right. This video was published, looks like a month ago. Yeah, so about a month ago. And it was all about AI in board games and his argument as to why it's a thing and could be a thing for board game publishers. But he does talk about it's not perfect, that it can't replace human judgment or even human talent, but it can definitely improve efficiency and quality if used effectively. Like, these are the arguments that he was making. So it wasn't he wasn't poo-pooing AI, but it was a nuanced argument. So then apparently Shut Up and Sit Down's Tom saw the video, watched it, and then did a reaction video to it where he blasted against Bollocks, effectively called the video garbage, don't watch it, not worth it, totally wrong. And Shut Up and Sit Down is not going to do anything that has anything to do with AI, to include, I think Wayne got the understanding of this better than I did, to include even using products that help like produce the videos that they make, right, Wayne?
Yeah, that's what I got. I got the hint of that. So the twist of this too is apparently they didn't post that video to like the general Shut Up and Sit Down feed.
Right.
It was posted to like a private, like Patreon only or friend only feed or something. So it was like, if you're gonna make a statement, like come out, don't make it public. Don't be like, let's hide. We're only gonna release it to our Patreon members, right? Or our diehard fans.
It seemed almost like you felt like it was not going to get out into the main public. That it was just going to be their little private group of people. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but it just seemed like that was the way he was framing it. Like, yeah, nobody's going to hear this. So let me just go ahead and speak honestly or whatever. So I don't know. Yeah.
But I guess, British board game content creators are few. Yeah. So, it can't just be two of them talking about it, because now we got a third Brit board game content creator talking about it as well. Yep. I got a tab here.
I just posted that. Yeah, you're going to show that?
Yeah, yes, I am. Wayne sent the link, so I'm going to show it here. And I believe it's Luke.
That's Luke Hector,
yeah.
From Broken Meeple. Chimes in there with the wow, just wow. And he adds context about how he has never been a supporter of or a liker of anything that Shut Up and Sit Down does or has ever did. I didn't know that, but
they're all a bunch of saucy guys, man.
Them fighting words, bro. Like, we got to go to UKG.
It's the old guy fighting a phone booth, right? Yeah, they got phone booths over there still.
Yeah. red phone booths.
Yeah.
But he goes into Tom as well about the audacity of cheekily hidden in his supporters channel rather than his main channel, and talking about it. This it's funny to watch, but it's all about AI. And I think what Rob, it was interesting because Rob, myself, and Wayne had a little chat this morning in our private chat about
little debate. Yeah.
Yes. And it got into like little debate mode. And that just told me how much emotions just bringing AI up can bring in people. There's a lot to dispute there. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of like this nuance and spectrum in there of how you side with it. I mean, I truly have yet to bow down to our robot overlords, but I'm more open to it, especially after I took that class that Wayne recommended from University of South Florida on AI. So it got me my eyes open a little bit to it, which kind of led to Mike Lorenzo's comment on the first comment of today. What is this AI nonsense? My thumbnail was made by AI. I wanted to play around to see what could I create, and we've been having fun picking it apart in our Discord. Beansanddice podcast. State your name. Where you calling from?
Hi, this is Caleb from Idaho, the AI music video guy.
Let's get it tore up. Let's go.
Yeah. How you doing?
How do you feel about AI, Caleb?
I'm always having to reflect on it. I think it's always an evolving space, and there's certainly a challenge to a creator or just a person who's using it, like to reflect on what you are prompting and what you're receiving. I know what I try to do is prompt receive and then take it that next step. So if you recall the board game music videos, I write the lyrics, I prompt it, and then keeping that in mind, I want to be able to use my filming to make a music video in that regard.
I've enjoyed those videos. I watched the Heat one was especially one that I really enjoyed with what felt like time lapse, or what do they call it? Stop motion. That's what I'm looking for. That stop motion photography. I didn't realize you wrote the lyrics, so that's definitely human input. That's a lot of work there.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of work there. You can have one more show, bud.
My man.
Yep. You got the remote. All right. So just writing the lyrics is certainly just I've experimented with like AI writing, and like it can write, but I don't see myself reflected then in the end, or as much of the personality of the game can really be touched on, really. And so that's a personal reflection, but maybe someone on the other side, you just might not know when you see a lot of these other AI music that you sometimes hear and see here and there.
Right now, what is it? Solomon Ray is topping the Christian charts, and that's AI generated Christian music. So like the Christian music charts is currently being led by AI. Like that, it's crazy. This stuff is I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, and it's always got that nuance of like what's interesting when you see those topping charts. Like, what is that based on? Is what I've sometimes had to dive into. Like, is it because of some algorithm or sales or some reading? But yeah, it's kind of interesting just because these songs, I think, can resonate with people is the interesting part. Like, hopefully some of my songs have resonated with you guys on some of the games or on any level, hopefully. But like, I was listening to like this tavern rock playlist the other day that was like for D&D, that was just nothing but raucous tavern songs about D&D characters going and enjoying their nights at the tavern. Was a fun just playlist to go through.
And that's my worry, is music is it's a very human thing. It's been around for us, with us for a long time, and it impacts the soul. And, I listen to praise music, I listen to worship music, and then I think about, how am I allowing a robot to impact my emotions and feelings on the spiritual level? And that's where I start like getting like weird. I don't know about you, but I get a little weird thinking about it. Yeah, no. And that's where you want to have a connection with someone's story, with someone's inner thoughts, if they are making a song in general, is a thought. And so if you don't have a connection with the creator, I'm just wondering like how much depth any of the AI stuff can have. And so keep going, brother. You're putting in the human input and using the tools. I mean, it's like using auto tune at this point, right? Like what you're doing is you're creating the lyrics and then using AI to help you generate the song itself, but you started it. Like, it's your ideas, your thoughts, your themes.
Yeah, a word I heard the other day is it's a craft of sorts to shape and mold, ultimately with an output that I want to be sincere. I don't ever really want to say hide necessarily the fact that I am using it. I think it'd be cool to maybe someday, like, if someone resonates with these songs, like, to see, a human performance or take, on the actual songs themselves. Or if someone reached out and said, "Hey, I don't have the film skills. You have some film skills. Like, make my passion for this song that I made, and let's collaborate and make an awesome presentation out of it."
That'd be cool.
Board Games in the Background is the channel, folks. If you haven't found him yet, definitely give him a look. I think he was like at 84 when we last talked. He's at 90 now. So keep it going, keep it growing. Lots of videos of games being played and songs themed to them. I like the folky Small World song.
Yep. I'm right now got 3 in the hopper as to, like, I've been working with, and need to continue filming, but we'll hopefully have those out, the next 3 months. Would be fun. Get one out a month at least.
Yeah. Keep doing what you're doing. It's really cool.
I made my first thumbnail on AI this week.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all saw. I'm sure you saw the difference from my PowerPoint thumbnail, because that's what that was before. It was PowerPoint. I used PowerPoint like Adobe Photoshop.
Yeah.
So I used it, and then we've been picking it apart in the Discord because apparently some of the dice have 2 5s on them.
Oh.
One of the board games in there, the age range says CO to 90. So the years we were trying to figure out what CO meant. I think it's conception, so it's from conception to 90 years
That's what
old.
it is. Yeah.
Is what that
It's not like the German games where you can play to 99. You're done at 90, but you can play in the womb.
It's over, Grandma. But well, see, my thought was what explains it. Maybe it was a game of Twister that went dark.
Oh.
So
That's great. I'm looking forward to. I found this one YouTuber this year. If you've heard of Puppet Tabletop, he's a puppet reviewer of board games.
oh my God,
And-
Rufus!
Yeah.
Oh, I've
Yeah.
seen that.
I love Rufus.
Yeah, and so if you're following his story, he's going like he
Sparkle Pop.
escaped. A spoiler? Okay, I'll hold off. But he's in some sort of AI realm, so I'll be curious to what.
I haven't
what's
seen it yet.
happening there.
I love that
Oh,
Puppet
dang
Tabletop.
it.
I gotta watch it.
Okay.
I saw the
Puppet
he
Tabletop
did
is going
a
up.
post, a YouTube post, and he talked about Spurgle Pop just got bought out by another character and wants to take more control of their advertisers. So it's a great little storyline there with this mafioso octopus and
Yep. It's a great presentation. Yep.
and then Mortimer. Mortimer shows up. All right, tell us about the solo. There isn't one. Thank you, Mortimer. That was a lot of effort.
Just for that.
Yep. So I'm excited to see what his continued presence out there and just what he'll continue to say about board games and.
Wayne, we got to get you premium. We got to get you premium YouTube, bro.
Sorry.
Wayne's trying to skip through the ads to get to
I just subscribed.
Gruffus,
Yeah.
or Gruffus with the G.
Gruffus.
He does great, and he doesn't leave character. It's so much fun.
It is.
I'm glad you brought that one up. I don't think I've told the guys about this one. It's
No,
like it's been my
was-
secret pleasure.
I saw one of the videos, but
I was subscribed to it already, so
oh, were you? Well,
It's great.
it's just what's crazy though is I'm subscribed to so many like board game content creators on YouTube. I miss videos because the algorithm so
It
much
can only
like,
feed you so much.
can only feed you so much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. The way I've had to rely on going to the subscription, your subscription feed, and that's necessarily how I hone in on who I want to, who I've subscribed to, and been able to keep up with that. At any rate.
That's why we try to stay consistent. We've been doing Thursday nights for a long time now. I think 5 years. Just
years,
Thursday
yeah.
nights at 9 p.m. Just keep it simple, and then hopefully people will catch the podcast afterwards if they didn't watch it live.
Yeah. Yep.
Thank you, Caleb. What else you got?
Yeah. Just the last thing I had just a curiosity on is that I was going through a thrift store and found myself on a thrift impulse purchase because I was like, oh, that's a board game box and it's big and it's dark, so it might have a serious theme to it. And it was level 7 Invasion. And
yeah.
I don't know the full rep as it's as it has it stood this test of time or not, but certainly looking into it and just kind of
There's a couple of
seeing
games
the
in that,
event that it could be.
right in there.
Yeah, level 7 Omega, I think, was one of the first ones.
Omega Protocol was the first one, wasn't it? 3 or 4
Yeah.
versions.
It's Privateer Press. They did the War Machine. War Machine miniatures tabletop game. So this, if I remember correctly, this game is miniatures heavy.
Yeah, they certainly lean into that production to represent your armies and the alien armies, and the control of the map. Seems to be my understanding, and then just big player boards to keep track of your stats and progression.
Yeah, so it looks like level 7 is the universe, and then there are a ton of there's like 3 or 4 games in that universe.
Yeah, this looks like Risk. Like it's got a bunch of minis on this one, this Invasion one.
Yeah, and I'll be curious in getting into it, but I have heard some rhyme or at least some frame of reference since it's cooperative on a big map like this. There might be some I'll just say rhyme again with like XCOM-esque kind of in trying to save the world and manage your resources and troops and
I like
territory
XCOM.
you have lost or gained from the aliens.
Well, speaking of XCOM, I think I heard that they're coming out with a miniatures war game of it, and I think it's going to be Mantic that is doing it. Miniatures war game. So they're going to get away from the XCOM that Robert has that FFG came out with, which was like the meta, of like building the teams and paying the resources, and just getting to the fun part that I liked, which is shooting up aliens. So it's going to be like a battling game using the systems, the characteristic systems from XCOM was great.
Yeah,
cool.
I like XCOM.
Thank you, Caleb. Great chat, man.
Yeah. Well, thanks, and you guys have a great night.
Hey, God bless. Talk to you next
Thanks
time.
for calling.
Good night.
Night. That's Caleb from Idaho talking about some AI stuff, like keeping that conversation going. Phone line's still open. 813-618-7099 is the number. I think we got only 4 minutes left in this show.
Yeah.
Wow, that was fast.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts on the Battle of the Brits here, the three-way fight going on there?
It's just crazy. I mean, I guess every community is like this, right? I'm sure, like content creation communities, right? Because it just seems like every week there's another like scandal or this group versus this group or Rodney versus Chaz, and so it's just always interesting. But when you share opinions, people are gonna have problems with those opinions from time to time. So,
well, speaking of opinions, Beansanddice podcast. State your name. Where you calling from?
What's up, Bella? This is William.
William. Hey man.
What's up, man?
Did you see the episode you were on last week? Has like twice the views of like any of the recent call-in shows. It's got to be something about you, man.
I think it's just a change up. People like change, and people like to see some, flip of the script, even if it's something subtle. I think that's just what it is. It has
a little salt.
Really with me.
People like that little saltiness.
Yeah.
Maybe so. I don't know. I'm not gonna try to figure what people like or not like, but the AI thing is what I was calling interesting because me, I'm right now I'm really nerding out at home and learning more about how it works. I'm actually learning to make my own AI bot here at home. So it's just for me. So it's like off the network. So it's not like using the internet. It only learns what I type into it on my own home network. So
it's only got to take you 2 minutes to teach it everything you know.
No, it actually isn't. It has a lot of like core features, and what I'm using is actually an old cell phone. So it's very dumb right now is what it is. So it's got to it learns it basically shows people what the power of it. Imagine what these corporations have as far as their computing power. So they already have an architecture designed to do it, but for this thing, it's just like I would just type in and say, hey, can you just help me with this math equation, and then it'll say yeah, and then it'll come up with something back. And as time goes on, it will start learning. When it starts learning how you are, is when it starts getting a little scary.
Yeah, because my next question was going to be, you mentioned the word bot, so I want to know more about the physical architecture of this thing. Like, how is it going to physically be? Because that's what scares me. I saw a news report about a guy who took his robot, like walking, biped robot onto a plane, bought it a plane ticket, because it was cheaper to buy the plane ticket than it was to fly the thing on a cargo plane to the next event. And then subsequent to that flight,
bot as a terminology, not an actual robot car.
Okay, I pictured is it going to try to kill you in the middle of the night? Chucky doesn't have batteries in him.
it's just a cracked screen old Samsung Galaxy cell phone that's plugged into the network. That's all it is. It has a little bit of computing power, and it's just for me to test with.
So you're in the AI. You're on board.
In the Matrix.
I'm just trying to enhance my resume pretty much skills, and I'm just trying to learn how this stuff like works, how it communicates and stuff. So that's about it.
Yeah, we play Frosthaven. Joe and Nick go on for hours about the stuff that they built at work, and Joe's building his own AI programs, and he did the same thing. He has one set up that only knows what he's taught it, and he said it's crazy how quick it starts picking stuff up, and
it's
scary.
It's scary because it's off the network, so it doesn't know what's out in the outside world. It only knows what you tell it. So it's kind of like your messed up child.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
So, but this artificial child has it can't really do wrong unless you tell it to do wrong. So it can go you go on hours and geeking out about it, but in the end it's a tool, and you have to be ethical on how to use AI. And I'm sure Wayne, with dealing with he does, there's courses in colleges, basically using AI ethically and how to do it, and there's just this whole thing and string about that. But
yeah, there was a prosecutor who I think was just arrested in Georgia because she used AI to pen up her argument as to why this woman who was convicted should get the greatest penalty, right? Because they wanted to give her the largest penalty, and it cited these fake court cases. So now the question becomes, what is the punishment for the prosecutor that used wrong, information from AI that was about to put this woman in jail for life?
Losing that
right? Should it be equivalent to the life sentence she was about to put this woman to? AI, if it's used wrong, is bad.
I mean, she'll lose her law license probably, or the bar, disbarred. Yeah.
Or suspended at least.
But like you said, we were at my job, and some guy, was he's a musician as a hobby, and he would say, "Look, here's some of the songs I created on AI," and it was like D&D related stuff, and he just playing it. And like, he just inputted about just you say he typed in, "I want a D&D song about a dwarf who loves goblins, doesn't hate them, loves goblins as a drinking buddy," and he played and it generated this song, and I'm like, that's awesome. I would actually want to see that into a movie or something. And it's just how crazy it is. And he says, "Yeah, but I've been working on this for like months." So, if you're going to do something like that for board games, what's the ethical backing behind it? Like, I'm not, you guys we buy board games based off like someone's creativity.
And I think Wayne had shared one with me called Note something.
Notebook LM.
Where you can just upload
Notebook LM,
like the PDF of that game, and then ask it questions about that game, which I think would reduce the amount of hallucinations that you would get, because it's not pulling from like the internet or BGG comments. It's just the rule book.
It's a great tool for kids to study too.
Mm-hmm. That's what it was originally developed for. It was developed to help kids study, and like we use it. I use it all the time. Where, when the federal government changes a regulation and the state government changes a regulation, I can take the state regs and the fed regs, put it in Notebook LM, and be like, okay, where do they not
diverge?
Where do they diverge, or what is?
But you don't have to worry about the input of everything else on the internet to that, because it focuses in on just the content you gave it, right?
Like if you have RPG books too, like you could, if you uploaded like an entire system of RPG books, you could basically then run your game from just Notebook LM without having to, find me this rule or find me the spells, what book had the fireball.
Do you think I could ask it, like, what's the difficulty of crossing a stream on a rickety board? Right? Like, it would tell me the modifier, like the target number.
It'll probably tell you the statistical value, maybe, if you asked it in a certain way. But yeah,
so you could run a game.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, the Notebook LM is an ethical tool. Like, it's used. Most people know. Say, hey, I need to study for a test. I'm going to put in all my notes that I wrote in my class, plus on the pages in the textbook, and
Yeah, like here's a
you ask
textbook.
it to
Here's
combine both,
Yeah.
and then hey, I need to know everything about this particular part of the subject, and then it'll say hey, and then you say hey, make me flashcards, make me a 50 question practice exam, and then boom, next thing you know you're studying to almost get an A on a test.
Yep.
But okay, so let's go a little deeper into the ethics of it, right? Like let's go deeper into the ethics. Like I just saw a report about Lake Tahoe, California. So it's a community in California that gets their power from, I believe, Nevada. Right? They run power lines across the state. There's a data center going up in Nevada. So Nevada just advised the residents of the city of Lake Tahoe, California, that they're going to have to find another power source. So for decades, this community has relied on the state of Nevada's power structure to provide them power. They don't get power from anyone in California because a data center is showing up in Nevada, and that power company is going to make more money feeding power to this data center than they would this small community. And because it goes across state lines, California has no regulatory power over that Nevada power plant telling them no. So then I'm doing the AI thing today, thinking to myself, am I contributing to this? Like,
yes, you are.
Data centers use a crazy amount of energy and water, but it's, how dangerous is it versus is it overblown, right? Certainly putting data centers in the middle of deserts where there's already not a lot of water supplies, probably not the best idea. Not the best idea in the world. And you've seen,
maybe somebody's using AI to ask AI, where should I put an AI?
Where should I put it? Yeah. But you've seen some communities pull back on that. There's been a bunch of recent communities that a data center was coming to the area, and now it's not. And I can see. I think there needs to be some thoughts, it's not even AI, but think about like Disney, right? So Disney has a massive amount of land in the middle of Orlando, right? And they're turning all of the land, or a lot of the land that they can't build on for the parks, into giant solar farms.
Yep. You see the goats out there chewing up the grass.
And so Disney's goal is to not even need the power company by 2030? Like they want to be able to basically run their parks off of solar. And so if you want to build data centers, you need to do stuff like that, right? You need to be able to combine the two, right? So that you're not drawing on power that a community needs. Right?
So I feel like every time I'm going to make an AI generated thumbnail, I'm going to be impacting someone who ended up having a data center in their backyard. Unless you
got your own at home, Carlos.
Well, that's what I've told my staff, when we talk about, I work at a college, so we have access to Copilot and we have access to the GPTs and a lot of different AI tools. And I tell people, don't use ChatGPT to replace Google. You can still just Google search stuff, right? And granted, you can turn off, yeah, it is. And actually you have to be careful because now Google is just immediately going to their, it goes into their AI too. So I turn
Gemini,
it goes to Gemini. So I turn Gemini off on my Google. And so when I Google something, it's just the old fashioned Google search, and not the AI, as opposed to just going to, and really I said, use AI for things that you need more than just your typical old school web searches. You don't need to use it for every single thing all day long. It's just kind of silly. At some point, write your PowerPoint or write your speech or write your presentation and then ask AI to clean it up,
Conserve energy.
The thing that I'm gonna find funny is how AI your thumbnail is kind of messed up, right?
Yes.
AI doesn't really know anything. What if you start seeing the board game developers start using AI to make the rules, print those rules, they're in a box, and you open it up, I'm like, what the hell is this make?
I think there's been enough pushback in the artistic community, at least, because board game art has really been slammed. I don't think you're going to see too many board game designers openly use AI to develop the game, the rules, everything. Now, I remember, almost a year or 2 years ago, 3 years ago, Jeff Engelstein had a really good podcast on his channel, Game Tech, where he talked about, one of the biggest hurdles to getting a game to print is refining it, right? Taking it from the initial rule set and playtesting it. So where he could see AI being used is develop an AI tool to help you playtest. Instead of having to go to an event and have 20 guys play the game 100 times, you can develop an AI to playtest it 1,000 times in 5 minutes, and it points out holes that you then refine. So I can see that being used, but I don't think we're going to see anytime soon games that are created, designed from top to bottom from AI.
Oh no, that's definitely too far out because most people nowadays use the free versions of AI. They don't use paid subscriptions.
Yeah,
that's me.
Mostly because people can't afford it because it is expensive. Actually,
But I don't see myself using it that much. I got a comment in here about the data
I think
centers.
it's enough pushback with.
Data centers need to get better. This is Caleb, I believe it is. Board games in the background. Caleb just called in. Just like Disney making Toy Story with a render farm the size of a data center back in 1999, now I can render a video on my laptop.
Yep.
Yeah, it's all going to evolve. I mean,
technology will get better.
Yep.
Super.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's, I mean, if you think that's honestly like it's not being political, but one of the main reasons why Russia went to war in the Ukraine is Ukraine has one of the largest reserves of rare earth metals in the world, next to China, and so.
Oh, Wayne froze.
If you,
if you
China
the Russians got him.
China got to him. He froze up there, Wayne.
For that shit and said, "Nope,
you're back now."
Talking shit.
Oh, I'm back now. I was saying, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, that's not even some of the data centers too. It's these rare earth metals that are used in every chip. That's superconductors and
price of my RAM going up.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's coming back down. The bubble is starting to. It's going to level off here in a bit. I can see it already. It's the problem is it's going to take a while. It's unless you're like immediately in that industry right now, but for the consumer market, it's going to take a little longer for it to come down. Mostly because the data centers are not being built because these countries and these other cities are pushing back because they're saying, we like our lakes, so we don't want you to drain it just to put a freaking AI center here. So now the environmental impact is being known out in the world, saying.
Problem is our competitors aren't going to care. Like Wayne's talking about, the Ruskies will just take over countries and the Chinese will just pollute the planet because we're the only ones that care. Great conversation, William.
Yeah, I mean, but there's a fine balance between everything. So just have some people have to find it and be okay with it. Pretty much all that you can do.
As long as you don't marry your robot, I'll be fine.
Not yet.
That's not going to be our generation. They're going to probably like 3 generations down the road. It'll be just like Cyber 2077, man.
Yeah, you can do it in Japan now. It's legal.
Well, I mean, it's to each his own. I'm not going to say anything.
It's okay. You can say it.
That's crazy.
Hey, who the hell knows? We're gonna be dead, so it's not going to matter by the time they figure that shit out.
And these are wise words from William.
William's wise words.
No.
That's in a segment.
Before they figure that shit out.
Oh no, you're not going to start nothing like that. No. Oh my god.
Well,
Good night, William.
No, if you're going to do something like that, I want the G.I. Joe one.
The more you know.
Oh,
All right.
there you go. You always have the battle.
New soundbite to add. Mm-hmm. Thanks for calling, William. Have a good night, brother.
Right,
night, William.
Night.
And that gets us to the end of another great episode. Mediocre, sometimes okay episode of the Beans and Dice podcast, Thursday Night Live call-in show. Don't forget, folks, check out the Discord. You can find the links on the whatever version of this that you're watching or listening to. We put a Everlink, permanent link in there for the Discord. You can join the chat. We're always talking games and such. Email us at beansanddice@gmail.com for questions, comments, or thoughts. If you're on YouTube, make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe. And if you didn't like the episode, just press the like button twice.
Hey,
if you really like what we do here, you can support us on PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, which is at Beans and Dice or # Beans and Dice, depending on which app. Send us a few bucks. Let us buy a cup of coffee or a board game. That'd be greatly appreciated. Next week, get back to this on Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be back talking board games all over again. Rob, Wayne, any final thoughts?
Think we're good?
Yeah, I'm good. Have fun gaming. Right.
All right. Well, thanks for watching. I've been Carlos.
I'm Rob.
And I'm Wayne.
God bless. Good night. Catch you on the next one.
Thanks for watching the Beans and Dice podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Shut that cat up.
Bow down to the robot overlords.